seriously, I just, I fucking give up. I fucking give up. I'm done. I fucking quit. I'm over it. I can't. I have to talk about this. And this is going to be one of those or many subjects that probably many of you are going to kind of know what I'm referring to. At the same time, I'm going to try to spell this out as much as I possibly can without losing my job or the other stuff that I can't really put words together. And yes, just as a heads up, this is a quote-unquote live review, but at the same time, I'll maybe talk about something and take it out. You'll know. The long story short of it is, we're going to review Twisters. Now, Twisters came out a few months back. It recently just came out to streaming. Holy fuck, people. I'm going to do something weird here. Yes, just as a heads up, Spot of Nerd here. Brand new episode. I'm livid. I'm angry. I'm just like, holy shit. If you would be ever so kind, I would love you all so much. If you haven't already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button right down below. Give me the likes, give me the comments. I really want to know your take if you've seen this film. What I'm about to tell you, huge spoilers here. Like I said, I'm going to literally spoil the end of the film just so I can give you my take on why this doesn't deserve any cups of tea out of 4 from yours truly, Spot of Nerd. Even though nearly 80%, I'll stretch it to 80% of this film actually wasn't that bad. Sure, there are some things that you kind of go, ugh, you roll your eyes, and we'll get into it. But it's the ending that is the pinnacle of why Hollywood right now is in the absolute toilet. And every single piece of dog shit that comes out is complete dog shit. No pun intended, broken record moment. That's what we do here at Spot of Nerd. So, huge appreciation. I've actually seen a much higher number of subscribers lately, and I want to just send a quick, huge thank you for that. We'll get into that another time, but I really want to emphasize how grateful I am for that. I have had more subscribers this last month than I've probably ever had on this channel, so I hope it continues. If you haven't already, ding ding ding. But seriously, it means the world to me. And the comments, the feedback, everything in between. So that's why I'm giving you more episodes in between Comic-Con days, which I hope you enjoyed the day 1 release that just came out. Day 2 through 5 are on their way. But of course, like I said, broken record, I want to make sure I give you more content. And this is absolutely perfect. The movie Twisters. Spoiler warning if I haven't told you already. So, as I have done time and time before, I don't give a crap about details in relation to names. So, main actress, we're just going to call her Boss Lady. You'll know what I mean in a minute. We're going to call the dude Top Gun because he's in Top Gun Maverick. You know, look these people up. Look, if you care, if you give a shit, just look them up. And then you have Beast Wars, Transformers live action movie. And then you have the rest of the crew. Like, there's friends and other people that really don't matter at all. So it's really just these 3 characters that you're focusing in on. And I think my understanding is it is a sequel to the original Twister movie, which came back, my god, way back, probably 90s now, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it's just a hint of it in the beginning. It's the Dorothy machine, if you remember that. And that's it. They just move on with the rest of the story. And it's pretty straightforward. Twisters is a movie about tornadoes. Shocking. Oh my god, it's crazy. But I want to get to the end, and I'm going to boil this because, number one, as I've said in past episodes, and what I'm referring to in relation to what I'm going to mention, other channels have tipped on this as well. When it comes to relationships between a man and a woman, or a man and a man, or a lady and a lady, whatever it might be, there is no longer any romance. It doesn't exist. And the entire film of Twisters is you're actually building a solid foundation of boy meets girl. Girl looks at guy and thinks, oh, he's just some cowboy yeehaw YouTube star. We'll get into that. And lo and behold, they start to learn to get to know each other. They start to fall for each other. And you can see it because they have the same passions about weather and tornadoes. And at the end of it, it just crumbles into the tiniest pieces of hell. And yes, this is where I'm getting at. So, cliche. This movie is a giant cliche. It is so predictable. Every scene, from the moment the movie starts, you can literally predict the next scene. At the end of the film, you have one of the biggest tornadoes to ever hit Oklahoma. The thing is like 3 miles wide, and it's about to hit this city. And of course, Boss Lady has invented this machine, this syrup stuff, whatever it is. We'll get into that maybe if I give a fuck. That can basically take a tornado and dissipate it. Like, just erase the tornado like it doesn't exist. So, the end of the film, you have the largest tornado to ever hit Oklahoma is going towards the city. The whole group, everybody is trying to get people to safety, families, and all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, everybody's all kind of like hopelessly going, we can't stop the tornado. We have to save as many lives as we can. What are we gonna do? And just as everybody is about to die, wouldn't you know it, Boss Lady gets in the truck, drives into the tornado. Let me repeat that. Drives into the tornado. Releases her new magic experiment, and lo and behold, the tornado that has basically destroyed half of this city disappears. I shit you not, people, in a matter of 5 seconds. This tornado goes from being one of the biggest 3-mile wide, destruction everywhere tornadoes to a clear blue sky with a snap of a finger. I don't understand. I mean, let's be honest, I actually really do. I understand perfectly how, why, if, when, or why. But it's the definition of, if you watch Critical Drinker, the message. And I'm going to just leave it at that because I'm pretty confident you know where I'm going there. And I don't want to necessarily cross any lines that will get me into trouble. I need a paycheck and I need health benefits. But I'm pretty sure you can get where one of my biggest frustrations, other than the fact that it's a garbage story, is coming from in relation to the fact that, again, you have a nearly 2-hour film where you're building up this rodeo Top Gun guy as to be the big macho masculine, like, I'm a tornado guy, look at me, I don't need science and shit, I'm just fucking YouTube. And it's okay, going back a little bit, they build his character around the fact that he's a YouTube star. Top Gun is a YouTube star. It's so cringe. It is so, like, you've taken one of the most amazing films that was ever made back in the day. Helen Hunt, I believe, was one of the main casts in the original film. And you completely destroy it with one thing and one thing only. Technology. Because, of course, everything now has to be recorded. So Top Gun guy is a YouTube star who just happens to be a tornado chaser, and he's got like 1 million subscribers, and he's got his crew with him, and his crew is all like hip and cool. And it's like, oh, by the way, they are able to fly drones into the fucking tornadoes because that makes any fucking sense. And he's got this like 1970s truck that apparently he like retro built drills on so that he can just like drill the car into the ground, so that basically his whole aura between him and YouTube is like he just drives into tornadoes, clamps his car down in the middle of a tornado, and just fires off rockets. And that's his YouTube channel because fuck, why not? Because fuck me sideways, God forbid you came up with a fucking decent story. Sweet mother of God. Take a breath. Take a breath. So yeah. So they're building him up, right? And you would think, man, you know what would be great? A great way to end this film? Why not the two of them, now that they've, they hated each other and then they start to get to know each other, Girl Boss and Top Gun, maybe like together they like get in the truck and they go out and they drive out to this big ass tornado that's about to destroy everything and kill everybody in the town, and they save the day. How about we do that? No, we're not gonna do that, because that would mean you'd have a good story. Why would we do that? We want her to be we want her to be the one to do it, because she's the great one. Yeah, let's do that. What do you want to do with Top Gun? What do you want to do with him? I don't know, maybe just leave him at the theater. So like the whole town gets into this theater so that they can like hold the chairs before they get sucked off into the tornado. Yeah, just have him stay at the theater. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you know what we could also do too? So like we have CGI that is so horrific that you can tell every scene that has a blue screen in front of it. What we're going to do is we're going to have this trolley come crashing right on him, and that like he gets trapped under it, so she has to save him. And then her other friend, which I'll talk a little bit about in a minute, will come and be exactly like her ex-boyfriend who died in the beginning. Will basically, everybody's gonna go all kumbaya on each other and save each other, but we really want to make sure that instead of giving you something of a collaboration of a love story, of a action-packed love, action, drama, comedy thing, we want her to do everything. Because we want her to do everything. We don't need Top Gun. We want her to do it. So much. I would love to emphasize more on that, but I will simply leave you at that because I'm pretty sure you can get where I'm going with it. And it is so fucking bad, people, when it comes to movies today. And not only that, this is the second part of the ending of the story that I want to vent, if anything, / review, because of just to let you know how horrific this film is. Going back a little bit to the relationship sense, it is truly one of the most cringe lines in a film I have ever heard / watched in a film, this Twisters film. So, end of the film, everybody's safe. They've built this new technology and they're gonna start their own company, and yeah, everything's great. They're at the airport because Boss Girl has to go back to her real job. And Top Gun is like, well, what about us? What are we? Or I don't know, what are we? I don't get it. Blah. And so the whole movie is about tornadoes, and basically they're tornado chasers. Yeah, you already know. So she looks at Top Gun and she goes, yeah, it's all about the chase. It's all about the chase. Uh, oh, and yes, one last little tidbit. No. Swear to God, people, they don't kiss. You build up 2 hours of these two basically falling in love with each other. Borderline, if I were to see this, I would thought they would have already been married by now. They don't even touch each other. I mean, maybe like a shoulder touch or something, maybe like earlier in the film. But no, at the end of the film, when all the chaos is happening and she saved the day and he's rushing out to her, or he's at the end of the film and he's chasing after her to like, as you know, like a I'm trying to think, remember Love Actually, where the little boy chases after the girl, the American girl, and he's like, he was madly in love with her, and he goes past security and the little girl kisses him on the cheek. Even that had more romance and love, albeit take the children out of it. That's kind of weird, but you, just for reference purposes, not even a single kiss. Not a handhold, not a kiss, not a graze of the I don't know, push the hair aside. Nothing. Why? Seriously, that is one of the biggest kerfuffles, if that's a word, I have ever witnessed currently in cinematography, in films, in television series. Where did kissing go? Where did sex go? Where did hand-holding go? Where the fuck did kumbaya go? Why? And you might be asking yourself, why do you give so many fucks? Because it doesn't make sense. When you build this incredible story, and yeah, I say incredible, but ultimately destructive story, because it takes one line, it takes one scene, it takes one action for it to be erased completely. Like your wife who cheated, or your husband that cheated, that ruins the marriage. That's all it takes, is one thing to ruin it all. And that was it. On top of Girl Boss doing everything to erase the tornado, and the tornado being erased like that. You cannot make this up anymore, people. You seriously cannot make this up on just how tragically bad these films are right now. I said it in Trap. I said it in what did we do also before? In Alien Romulus. I'm now saying it in Twisters. This is now on purpose. And it is fucking garbage. Sweet mother of God. We will get into another episode, The Rings of Power Season 2. Wow. They need to use the Rings of Power 2 as a torture technique for terrorism. I swear to God, it's that bad. But to finish up Twisters, let me give you the quick synopsis and I'll wrap this episode up. So, it starts off in the beginning. Boss lady has a boyfriend and some other friends. They're like 5 years earlier and they're chasing the storm where she's just started to create this new technology to erase the tornadoes. So as you might imagine, like it was predicted before the credits even started, everybody fucking dies except her. Oh my God, didn't see that coming in a matter of 10 seconds of the movie starting. So, 5 years later, you have them pick up where she moved to New York, wants nothing to do with the tornadoes, but yet she's a weather girl. And then Transformers live action Beast Wars comes and says, hey, I've got this new company. I need your help. Could you come and do it for me? Everybody goes back to Oklahoma where we meet these other storm chasers, the tornado chasers. And we obviously meet up with Top Gun, who turns out to be a YouTube star because he just magically can drive into tornadoes and not have a fucking ounce of a scratch. It's like, my understanding is, I'm not a meteorologist, tornadoes have winds upwards of 200 miles per hour. Yet these people have barely a fluff of hair through their hair. 200 miles an hour. Oh, and I love it too, because like, as the tornadoes, there's multiple throughout the film, you know. They're destroying the towns and destroying cities. One moment of this film is like, yeehaw, rodeo, I'm from Top Gun and I'm trying to win over the girl, and the girl is like, I grew up on a farm and shit. And the next minute you have like Schindler's List vibe. And I'm not kidding you. It's because, of course, you have the destruction from the tornado. So you have gung ho, everybody, let's go chase the tornadoes. And the cars are driving to chase the tornado. And then you see the aftermath of people that are either dead or destruction everywhere. And it is depressing as fuck. But then we're right back to chasing the storm and the tornado, and then destruction and horribleness, and then chasing right back. This has got to be seriously one of the worst fucking films that has ever been made. Like, I need to actually, you know what? I need to sit down and I need to write out a list of truly, like, some of the worst films that I have ever seen. This takes the bucket right now, hands down. And it's such a shame, because I really do like the guy, the Top Gun guy. I have never heard of the boss lady. I've never heard of her. Don't really care much about Transformers live action Beast Wars guy. That's really the only thing I know him from. But ultimately, Top Gun guy, I just don't understand. I don't get you. You know, he's been in some other movies recently. I like Netflix streaming stuff, but this was supposedly a knockout of the park. Tom Cruise was like, this is one of the greatest films I've ever seen. Dude, you must have been drunk when you watched this, or high or something, if you think this was a good film. Great film, whatever you want to call it. This was a pile of shit. Absolute pile of shit. Cringe. Character development that you just kind of like, YouTube star? Really? Social media? That's the best you could come up with? Not to mention this girl boss we know nothing about, other than the fact that she basically hates her family and pushes them away. And then you basically, like, she won't let anybody in because of the original accident that happens in the beginning of the film. And it's like, then they try to have those moments of, like, you know, there's a word for it, but you know, where there's a moment where the guy, Top Gun, tells her, like, when are you going to forgive yourself? Or when are you going to stop letting the tornado ruin your life? Because, you know, she won't let go of the fact that her experiment killed her friends and she's blaming herself. You know, that type of story. But it's just, it's so poorly written. It looks like it's a cartoon just from the cinematography. Like, you see the blue screen. It's so bad. It's so poorly done. The graphics, the CGI are terrible. And then afterwards, again, the finale, like that last 20 minutes, you are literally just proving everybody's point when it comes to channels like mine, or when it comes to channels like the bigger channels, Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, Geeks and Gamers, etc. Hollywood is purposely destroying itself by they're putting in these agendas, they're putting in these politics, they're putting in this bullshit that basically is like, you just have to sit and ask, why? Why are you doing this? You could have had, and this is where I'll finish up this episode, I promise this time. I actually thought this was a decent film right up until those last 20 minutes. And I say that because obviously you can forgive some stuff. Like I said, the YouTube stuff. All right, okay, whatever. You can, I guess they're trying to make it more modern, up to date, younger audience. Okay, I can look past that. The drones flying into a fucking tornado. Okay, sure. I guess the physics don't make sense, but whatever. It's a fucking movie. We'll look past it. The CGI even. The fact that, you know, these people are driving into tornadoes. Okay, again, physics. It doesn't make any fucking sense, but whatever. There's like one scene, there's a fucking fireball tornado because it goes through a power station. The power station catches fire and huge fireball. Fire tornado. It's pretty cool. Okay. But it just is like, you ultimately self-destruct. And I've used that words a lot lately in these reviews. Trapped, Alien Romulus, probably more in the future. These movies are self-destructing on themselves, imploding on themselves, for reasons that, for some God unknown reason, that Hollywood says this is how it needs to be. She needs to be the one to destroy the tornado. She can't fall in love with him. No, we can't have that. We don't want to see two people that have learned to find out each other's, negatives and positives and weaknesses and strengths. We don't want them to be in love. We don't want to show any of that, because then that would show you a real story. That would show you real life. That would show you passion and love and interest and human connection. We don't want to do that, says Hollywood. Because if we do that, then you might actually believe it. And I think that is ultimately what is the case. And you might think I'm completely out there, and trust me, I am. I already know that. But tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong when it comes to films, television lately. The bureaucracy, the politics, which we're going to get to again, so many more episodes to come. So please stay tuned. You cannot tell me this is not on purpose now. This is blatantly done on purpose. So we'll leave it at that. Save your money, save your time. 0 cups of tea out of 4 from yours truly, Spot of Nerd. Do not go and watch this film, Twisters. It is shit. Just let the wind fly away like a fart in the wind or something. But huge appreciation for everybody that got this far. Seriously, thank you all so much for your support. We will catch you guys next time. Later, y'all. And just really quick, let's just be very clear on Twisters, the movie. If you could describe it in one sentence, in one phrase, Twisters makes Sharknado realistic. And that's saying something.